Conquering Mount Scrapmore with Brenda. I'm Brenda, and we're here with another episode of Quilt Math. Yes, it's more Quilt Math. Quilt Math can be really a lot of fun, and I believe this one was a viewer requested. This one is the Flying Geese 4 at a time method. Now, if you're not familiar what a flying goose looks like, I'll draw it out for you here. And basically the ratio, it's 1 to 2, and it looks like this. Just like this. I hope you guys can see that. But let's first get into our other things. Quiltin Stitchin and Kitties. Okay, that's on our YouTube radar. Look for this person and her little channel there. It's just lovely. She's having a lot of fun, and those kittens are really cute too. So go over there and check her out and give her some love and encouragement, and tell her that Brenda from Conquering Mount Scrapmore sent you. She doesn't know this is coming, and it's all sorts of fun. Now, Quilt Math will be coming up shortly, right after I've got 2 Quilt Maths that I want to do, and then we're going to start Quilt Bingo, and it's a skill builder. Basically, and we're going to put it out as a beginner, intermediate, and hard, or like expert level. And this way, you guys can either work at your level or work above your level. And everybody gets the same bingo block, but we're going to go through a whole bunch of different things. And there's a free space as well. But it's going to be a lot of fun that we play around with and do things, right? So it's going to be a lot of fun. Now, we also have in there the show notes. Also, you're going to be looking for this PDF, right, as well in the show notes. It's the Zoom So dates are going to be from now until the end of the year. We're having so much fun with those Zoom So dates that, yeah, we're just keep going on. It's all great. Now, there's also the So Yeah Brothers charity drive for the homeless people in Alaska. And I have their link in there, plus the website. So if you want more information on that, please contact them. I think it ends August 15th, but don't quote me on that. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure, but you make sure that you go check it out with them. Please share, like, and subscribe. Making comments all helps put our analytics ahead of everybody else and pushes our videos out so we can continue bringing you some fun free patterns and some more quilt math. Also, we have a Facebook group, and we have a virtual sewing room hosted by Discord, and we have all sorts of fun community chats. We have fabric exchanges by country to keep postage costs down. And of course, I speak for free, and you can either email me, which you'll find under the About tab, or send me a message through Facebook. I'm a little quicker to reply on Facebook than I am on email. Also, if you guys find shout outs, send me the link of the person you want shout out, like whether it be, you know, like a new quilting channel. I'm hoping it's all quilting related, a quilting channel, or something that, you know, somebody's working really hard and they're just having a good time and they've got some fun sew-alongs coming up, or whatever. Let me know. Like, either email me, and you can find that email again under the About tab, or message me under Facebook, because it's something that I would love to continue doing, is finding shout outs. Okay, I think that's it. Now, let's get to the 4 at a time method. Now, this is the method, or this is the block we're going to make, right, as a flying geese. Now, I have given you, most people don't understand it's a 1 to 2 ratio. This 1 to 2 plus seam allowance. Seam allowance, right? So if this is 4.5 across, this is 2.5 high, right? Because it's 1 to 2 plus a seam allowance. Now, your seam allowance is always your 1/2 inch, right? So when they talk about the finished size, this then would be a 2 by 4. Right? Or, you know, it could be like a 3 by 2, or, you know, whatever size, right? So I give sizes up to 6 inches by 12. Now, the only problem when you're working with the 4 at a time method is if your squares are not big enough to cut that body, because that's your biggest piece, basically, it's the biggest square that you're going to cut, then you can't use this method. right? So that's why I use the preferred, you know, like you take your thing and then you flip and stitch. You can also do it by the easy angle ruler as well. You can do it that way. There's all sorts of different methods to do this flying geese using scraps, but if your scraps are big enough, the 4 at a time actually is really much more time efficient. And you can play a lot around by making your colored body one color and then making your sky bits, the sky, you know, different colored of low volume, right? So I mean, you can play around, still make it look really scrappy. Now, the ratio for this here, use your finish size. They take in your finish size, right? And then they add, let's see, where is this? Then they add 2 1/4, right? So the finish size 2 1/4. So if I want to make, let's say, oh dear, that's probably more than 2 1/4. So if I want to make a 2 by 4, the square is 5 1/4 square, right? Like if you can't make a 5 1/4 inch square out of your scraps, you have to do a different method, right? Now, also, you're cutting on that 2 by 4, you're going to be cutting your 4 sky pieces at 2 7/8. Now, if you cut them at 3, your 1/4 inch here, that point is out of place. It's in the wrong spot. So it's definitely a 2 7/8, but it's much faster. And then you just draw your lines, and you put in with your magic wand. You just draw your lines, and then you sew on your lines, and you're good to go, right? So you sew on your lines on all 4 sky pieces, right? So that's helpful too, right? Now, we've done this several times in different videos doing the 4 at a time method, and I will make some references back to those videos so we don't have to have like a bunch of videos. But like I say, it's a good idea to learn how to do flying geese a bunch of different ways. There's also the Eleanor Burns method, and you have to go on her YouTube channel and look that one up, as her flying geese, the 4 at a time flying geese method again is different there, and it is a patented method, so I can't even explain it to you. Like, you know, it's her pattern, it's her thing, right? So there's another way of doing it. But like I say, you either use a stitch and flip. You can also use the easy angle ruler method, and that works out really well. There's all sorts of templates. You can just do templates if you want. You know, they all work, right? All of them. And what I mean by doing a template, like the old-fashioned templates, you would draw this out, whatever size you want to make it. Let's say it's, you know, 3.5 by 6.5, right? You would draw it out, draw your lines, and these lines here, then you would add a 1/4 inch on both sides, both the goose and the sky part, and that would be your plastic template, right? So I mean, you have those options as well to do it. And actually, sometimes having a template that you've made is easier to work with when you're working with a bunch of different odd size scraps, because now you've got that piece of plastic that you can sit there, well, I'm not going to get a sky out of here, I'm not going to get a goose, I'm not going to get, you know, this or that, right? So you can go through very quickly and see, well, this is too small, that's too small, that's too small, and you know, oh, this is actually big enough to do the 4 at a time method, right? Like you can make those decisions very quickly with your scraps that you couldn't do, you know, if you only know one way of making it, right? So this is why it's a good thing. And yeah, when you're trimming, now when you're using this, like let's say you go back to the 2 by 4.5 inch finish goose, right? When you're trimming it, you trim to 2.5 by 4.5. Right? So you're going to have a finished goose of 2 inches by 4 inches. Basically, your finished size is without seams, and your trim to size is your unfinished size. Sometimes I put unfinished size or trim to size. That's your unfinished size, right? So I know that's confusing for beginners as well, because they're thinking, okay, what's the difference between unfinished and finished? Your unfinished has seam allowances in there, and your finished size does not. It's finished within the quilt, right? So that's what kind of confuses people. Let's see, what else have I got? Yeah, you need to know more than one way, and I will make references on how to sew them in the videos, because I'm having problems sewing, and I cut my finger, and I did a rotary cutter safety thing last week, and this is we're still in this mode where we can't really sew. We can sew, but we can't really sew. So this is why we're doing quilt math videos until I'm healed up enough. So I'm so glad we fill my head on these things. Anyways, I hope you have a great week ahead and life is treating you just absolutely grandly, and you know, you're just having a fabulous time in your sewing room. Your 1/4 inch is great. So I want you to stay well and take care until we see each other again. Okay, bye! My husband and I would like to thank you for all of your support and watching our videos and sharing and liking. It has just been, you've put us on such an amazing journey, and we are having so much fun. I hope everything is going so well in your life, and you know, your 1/4 inch is perfect. Everything is working out for you. And we're just so happy to be part of your life, and you having, like I say, you're watching us. I was just so thrilled that you're doing that. So I want to say goodbye, and I want to thank you with all my heart. Okay? Take care. Bye.